See what he comes back with here on the 2-2. Oh, perfectly done.
Up to the left side, Alvarius comes over right at the railing. Oh! And makes a great catch! He ended up in the first row. Alvarius ends the game with the defensive jam of the afternoon.
This hunt, I may freaking try to get this out, but the Canada duck hunt's probably next. It's like killed a bunch of mallards on the pond. So start us off. All right, we're back. It's K-Zone Podcast, Episode 9. Back here in the shop. Got Ashur Tolliver here with us from Divebomb. Nate, Garrett, and Jay is behind the camera. He's on the porch. We only got 4 headsets, but he may hop in after a while. We had a pretty good hunt this morning. We're here in Arkansas. Shot him up in the South Blind over in the willow trees. And, man, we shot a mixed bag. I think we killed 1 mallard, gadwall, widgeon, teal. What else?
Spoonbill
blue wing.
Yeah,
Nate
had to crunch that spoonbill.
Got a spoonbill.
Things are
Tomorrow,
in trouble flying around me, I swear.
nothing to. Tomorrow we got a pretty good hunt lined up, I think. We had a storm blow through last night, this morning. I don't know how hard that slough got hit, but where we filmed that opening weekend video, we're going to go back in the morning and take Ashur. Potentially his cameraman. We don't know.
Nah, he's not coming.
He ain't coming.
He's got a date.
He's got a date or a Christmas
He said
party.
he's got a Christmas party, but there's something more to that story.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
We got James Lancaster meeting us there, so we got a big weekend. Got an episode shot this morning. Probably going to end up filming tomorrow too. So, just a good weekend all around, and it's good to have Ashur back. So.
Yeah, good to join you guys. That was a lot of fun this morning. That was the first hunt I've had this year where I just hunted, and that was really nice. That was a fun change of pace. Just kind of low-key, hanging out with the boys, not worrying about getting the perfect shot or the perfect angle, and got to get Simba out for his second time this year. He doesn't get to go quite as much as he used to, but it's still fun to get him out and just kind of get back to the core of it, and that's just going and hunting and not worrying about the camera or photos or ducks doing it just perfect, you know.
Almost
they
feels like
did.
an
I
off
mean,
day.
they did do it real nicely for us. I'm sure you got some great video, but yeah, that was a blast. Great mixed bag, 4 limits. You can't beat it.
No, the state as a whole right now, I think, for the most part, the numbers are down. Like you were saying after the hunt, you're like, I bet you 95% of the state would have taken that.
Yeah.
You know, and
But
so
95% of the state slept in this morning because we had thunderstorms all night.
so.
But
Well, we didn't get that as bad as what they were even saying.
No.
Or what they were thinking.
Yeah.
I think it rained just a little bit last night, and then this morning it didn't do hardly anything.
No,
I was prepared. Like I had
sprinkles
an
and that was
umbrella
it.
out there. Like I was prepared to get
Yeah.
absolutely dumped on.
I was kind of hoping we'd get a little bit more rain, not for the sake of the hunt this morning, but just for the sake overall
Yeah,
of the
duck
state and our
season.
habitat, because looking at the extended forecast, doesn't look like this week. It's going to get cold, but I don't think it's going to rain that much this week,
No,
if
the
at
rivers
all.
are down.
So we could sure use some more habitat, especially if we are going to get some cold weather to push some birds in the state. I know they got a push recently up in St. Louis at our owner's place there north of headquarters. You know, they've gotten some fresh birds, and they've been on them pretty good this last week, and I'm sure we're due to see a pretty good push soon. And it certainly would help with the pressure that they're going to have if we had a little bit of water for them to spread out. But that's all right. We'll make do with what we got.
mm-hmm.
Do the best we can with them.
No doubt. So we got linked up with Ashur a couple years ago. He, I know you've had Compatriot Outdoors in the past. Divebomb, we just know you through that. And then there was this one off season. You were like, "Hey, I'm looking to play some baseball. Let's get linked up."
Well, I
And
had actually talked to you before that.
we definitely talked before.
When you
but
guys
like
went to Canada, what was the first year that you went to Canada?
2019.
Okay, so
No,
I would have
it
met
was,
you.
18.
Before. I
It was
think I would.
18
Okay, and I probably met you not officially in person, but probably
over the phone.
met you probably a year before that.
Probably. So 2017, somewhere
Yeah.
like in there.
And then officially kind of got to know you guys better through the Yankees,
Yeah.
Central Arkansas men's.
Men's Senior Baseball League,
Most
Yankees.
competitive men's
Yeah.
league. And
Kind of bored in the
US.
summer, and I hit Josh up, and been running around with the boys. We we were some of the younger ones for sure on the team. We were our average age. The three of us brought it down a lot. Without us, it was probably hovering up in the mid 50s. But
we definitely brought some young guns in. That first year that I'd met you, you got us quite a few decoys to take up to Canada, and then the year after, like this past year, you got us a high vert. I mean, just coming in clutch, helping us out with some equipment.
And we hunted that
some
thing
decoys.
every single day.
did y'all like it?
Oh, yeah.
Big
Good?
time.
Good.
Oh, it was a game changer because every year in the past we've hunted layouts, and layouts are fun. Don't get me wrong, like laying in the spread, backboards, whatever. But this was a change of scenery. We had to find tree lines, grass lines. We got to hunt in hoodies and pants, not have to wear camo. I mean, it was a good time.
You know what's fun about high vert blinds or A-frames in general is layouts are cool and kickbacks are cool. Gillies when you can get them like right in your face, but there's something kind of fun about a high vert where all the boys are just right there in tight. She's loving me. All these dogs, they know I'm a dog person. But you got everybody right there in tight, and you can cut up. I mean, not that you can't cut up when you're in layouts, but when you're right next to a dude and you don't have anything in between you, you can have a good time and cut up, and it's just a little more personal, and it's a little bit more probably for us Southern guys, a little bit more what we're used to, because we're used to being in stand-up blinds. We're used to being in pit blinds. We don't spend a lot of time in laying in layout blinds in fields. So I like shooting them the other way, but as far as just the social aspect of duck hunting, I love being in a blind setting because I think that's probably why I like duck hunting so much. I was asking you on the Ranger ride back if you like deer hunting or duck hunting better, and you were saying the reward is more for deer hunting, but as far as just like the whole process of it and like the hangout and the social aspect of it, duck hunting for sure. So
100%.
that's what's cool about those.
And I think the biggest
like
advantage to it this year for us is we went to Canada later where they had harvested everything. There wasn't the swath road. We couldn't have, if we had layouts and that was the only option, we wouldn't have hunted. We wouldn't have killed anything. We wouldn't have been able to hunt.
Glad it worked out for you guys.
Yeah, it was a good time. We had one morning where it was, really cold and the wind was blowing at our back. And I was like, if we were in layouts right now, we'd be frozen.
We'd be
That wind blowing down your neck.
And just from like the video aspect of it, the A-frames are easy because I can put my camera box in there. I have my batteries. I have my still camera, my video camera. I can see everybody, communicate to everybody.
Well, and the audio is so good.
It's way better.
And the
Everybody's
audio, when you get
quarters.
people, hey, right here, on the right, and then people cutting out, if somebody whiffs or somebody crunches one, like some stuff that you can't get as well whenever you're in other settings. But, man, when you're right there in an A-frame, that natural audio, and then you're filming, kind of through the grass a little bit, and it's like when you put that up on a TV or YouTube and you hear all this side audio and people talking right here on the left and calling, it kind of feels like, as a viewer, like you're there. You're in the middle of the hunt. And I think that's what a lot of people like about some of these YouTube videos is maybe they don't get the opportunity to go on a hunt like that, or maybe that's a dream of theirs to go on a hunt like that someday. So to get to experience it that way with a group of guys that's just going up there, good buds, it's pretty cool to be able to showcase that to everybody.
100%. Change of pace real quick. Let's kind of get back to your early days of hunting. Did you grow up hunting? Did your dad, granddad, anybody get you introduced? Like what got you in the outdoors?
Man, I started deer hunting really young with my dad. He was taking me when I was taking a BB gun, 2, 3, 4 years old, but started duck hunting probably about 4 or 5. My brother, somebody invited him from school. And, of course, little brother, I didn't want to miss out on anything. Well, I grew up hunting at Anderson's Mental Farms in Lone Oak, Arkansas, shooting diving ducks. They would set you on a levee, and they would drive around. They'd shoot bottle rockets at them. They'd shoot 22s at them. They had depredation permits, so they could do all this stuff. And we're shooting scaup and ruddy ducks, and you'd kill the occasional trophy bluebill, or not bluebill.
Ruddy
That's
duck.
a scaup, bufflehead. Yeah. Bufflehead, the occasional trophy bufflehead. Maybe run into a canvasback once in a blue moon or a redhead, get lucky, and a wood duck, catch him going from one block of timber to another, and he scraped over at 60. But that's what I grew up doing. No decoys, no blinds. You would just find a hot levee, a hot traffic levee, and the boys and the cousins would space out about 20 yards, far enough where if we shot each other, hopefully we didn't kill each other when we're swinging with our single shot 20 gauges. And
Get out.
Man, that's what I grew up doing. Grew up just shooting diving ducks on the levees of Lone Oak, Arkansas, and then it evolved into Dad had a guy that worked for him that had a little 40 acres off of Kerr Road, and it was actually grown up minnow ponds, but it was similar like WRP type of stuff, and we kind of got into like actually decoying birds, and that was my first experience hunting puddle ducks, gadwall and teal, and like we were talking about this morning, the occasional really, really dumb young mallard because we were not hidden well. A hide, the concept of a hide and jerk rigs and strategically setting decoys to shoot birds at an optimal range was not a thing. We didn't know anything about that. And my dad, I don't want to say he was like, okay, he was probably pretty green, I would guess, when it came to duck hunting. He knew enough to like kill them, but he didn't know any more than any casual guy as far as like the art of decoying birds close. So then as I got older, I got really consumed with the whole idea of like being in Arkansas and the flooded timber biometa. You always hear about biometa. So, and through my 10, 11, 12, 13, I was hunting out there learning how to decoy birds. Well, then all of a sudden I'm looking forward to when I turned 16. So then me and my friends can go do all this public land, green timber stuff that you read about in all these magazines that you think when you're reading the magazines, it's kind of like Canada. You think you just show up and they just come flooding through the trees and everybody goes out of there with their limits. That's what you think when you think Canada, right, for the first time. You think you just cross the border and it's like this magical land where you don't have to do anything. You just set out like a dozen decoys and you're going to kill your limit, when the reality is you've got to scout your tail off and kill yourself to get on these feeds and set up. Well, timber in Arkansas was the same way. We think you just 16, show up at biometa, and everybody kills a limit. We learned quickly it doesn't work like that. And then that was kind of the deal. Did that for a while all through high school and kind of did well on public ground. Got our butts kicked for a long time, and then kind of started to figure them out and learn how to scout and flight lines and refuges at different points, following rafts of ducks or sitting off of rafts of ducks, and got pretty good at the public land thing. Really into my 20s, got after it really hard. Playing pro ball, you got the whole off season to hunt every day. So when you can hunt every day, boy, you talk about really learning a place. You get to follow the ducks and the water levels. You know where they're moving, where the X is going, and did all that. And then it eventually led into the whole Compatriot Outdoors thing, which ultimately led to kind of wanting to explore more of the waterfowling world and wanting to go to Canada, and didn't have any decoys to go to Canada. And I got connected with this guy who made these Canada goose silhouettes and worked out a trade. And that was, 8 years ago. And now we're the Divebomb Industries that everybody knows it today, but it hasn't always been that.
But you met Cody through Compatriot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which then became Split Reed about, 4 or 5 years ago. And I didn't have time to do anything on it anymore. Sold that platform because I was so busy. I was still playing ball, and two, I was in the early stages of helping grow Divebomb. But Cody started Divebomb 2011, did a great job with it. Him and his now wife, she was helping with the socials and stuff. And then, I did it for a while I was still playing ball, and then decided to retire, fully commit to it, and here we are, man. Divebomb's been amazing, and it's led to some amazing relationships and get to see some really, really cool places, and just it's been a fun little journey. But that's really the whole backstory from sitting on the levees at Anderson's to now traveling kind of all over doing the Divebomb thing. So that's how it all started. But I've always been ate up with it since I was really young.
And I think another mutual connection we have is the baseball stuff. We've talked a little bit about our backgrounds in previous podcasts, but like getting to have somebody like you on, or somebody that's played, like it's always nice to kind of get a fresh story. So I know you grew up in North Little Rock, went to North Little Rock High School, but where'd you go to college? And
well, I went to Sylvan Hills, actually.
You didn't go to North Little Rock High School?
I went to Sylvan Hills, and then I wasn't big out of high school. I didn't throw very hard, but I had a really good change. I changed speeds well, and I had good command. Good enough to play Division I, just small Division I. I wanted to play for the Razorbacks, and I had the opportunity to walk on there, but I really wanted to pitch, or an opportunity to get to pitch. So they had a new hire at Little Rock, a guy, Jim Lawler, and he was great. And went and pitched there and pitched on the weekends right out of the gate. Freshman year, pitched there 2 years. And he ended up, we didn't win a lot at Euler. He ended up getting fired after my sophomore year while I was out playing in the Cape, and he got fired. And at the time, they don't have the whole like transfer portal thing that they do now. Then it was if you transfer D1 to D1, you sit out a year. You miss a full year. Well, that was going into my junior year. And I was not interested in sitting out a year because I was having a great summer and my velocity had climbed and I was throwing hard, and I knew there was going to be an opportunity to get drafted the following year, my junior year, and there was no way I was going to sit out. Well, anyway, I had played with several guys the summer before that went to Oklahoma City University, and they were really, really good players, and they all got drafted. They got drafted pretty high. And anyway, long story short, I ended up played at Oklahoma City for a year. God, Denny Craybaugh was an amazing coach, amazing coach. God rest his soul, passed away about a year ago. But just an amazing guy to play for, and had a lot of connections, him and Keith Lytle both. And played there for a year, and then came up with Baltimore for, 7-ish years. I played professionally 10 years total. Ended out the last year and a half in the Atlantic League, but kind of bounced around from Baltimore to Los Angeles Angels to Houston to Seattle. A couple stints in the Atlantic League, and then 2019, baseball's getting younger. I'm getting older, and Divebomb was doing well. Once you get that 3 in front of your age in baseball these days, you're getting pretty up there. Like 10, 15 years ago, I would see upper level free agents all the time. But now, man, when you get a 3 in front of you, really when you get past about now 25, 26, if you're not like really doing it in like AA or AAA, you might ought to start looking for or thinking about what your next move is going to be, because the game's getting young. 100%. I mean, everybody's playing. The strategy's different now. Used to, everybody would play for the midseason, and if you were either a buyer or a seller. Now people are, they're going into the season not even trying to win. They're just developing their youth, and they're planning for 4 years out. So there's no reason for them to spend money on upper level free agents. I'm getting way off topic here. But anyway, what I'm saying is I was getting older at a 3 in front of my age. I'm getting older, game's getting younger, and I see this business is starting to become more and more successful. The owners put a lot of trust in me. We're growing, and I had a kid, maybe 2 at the time. I guess 2. I had Mia, and then I was away from them a lot. And I was never in a position playing baseball where I made enough money where my family could come with me. It was always I'm gone and family's home, and I'd see them once a year at the All-Star break. And that was hard. And in my mind, I knew I could still play. I mean, even right now at 35, if you gave me 2 months, I think I could get good hitters out. But it's not what you think. It's what organizations think. And I was like, you know what? There's not really an age limit on how long I can do this. I can do this marketing stuff forever. And if I really stop straddling the fence, because I was really straddling the fence, it was a lot of like, it was a lot of half and half. Half of my focus and energies here. So I'm not really doing myself justice with either, with baseball or with Divebomb. I'm putting half of my focus and my workouts and my energy into Divebomb or baseball, and then I'm trying to put what little bit I have left into Divebomb. And I don't know. I finally just decided, I was like, you know what? Like, my family, my wife in particular, has been supportive of me. She carried our mortgage during the early years of my minor league career. And I was like, you know what? She's always supported me and given me an opportunity to chase this dream. And, and I made it up, which was amazing. But I was like, you know what? Like, I've got an opportunity to do this. I can be home, and I know it can be successful. So I think now it's time to, let's go home. She supported you, so now you kind of have her back. Right. This is over. Maybe you get lucky and get back up. But realistically, like, the goal or the idea of getting up and staying up and making like real sustainable money, that was over. And so at that point, we hung it up and went full on the gas pedal with Divebomb. And yeah, it's been awesome. But yeah, baseball, it was great, man. 10 years, I was so blessed to get to play that long, and the connections and relationships I've made there have been awesome. But I mean, you guys would I don't know if you'd agree with me or not, but I was surprised at the lack of guys at that level, even collegiate or professional, that the seasons were so perfect for each other, but like there wasn't that many dudes that duck hunted.
No.
Was that y'all's experience?
Yeah, I see a lot of deer hunters.
I mean, guys just didn't duck hunt.
My junior year when I was at Arkansas State, I had, I say like 6 seniors and then like 3 or 4 of my other buddies that had never been hunting. And I made some agreement with them that, you know, if we did something, I'll take them hunting or whatever. Well, I ended up taking like 8 people on one hunt. It was like me, all them, Josh and Blaine, and went over to a food plot that was flooded and ended up shooting like 16 mallards or something like that. And they're in love with it, you know, and now they watch all of our stuff. They've never hunted since then, but we'll watch every one of our videos, you know. So, but it's crazy. I mean, I would run into a locker room in Arkansas and you might have like 3 guys that hunt.
Yeah.
And that's crazy, you know.
I didn't play. I mean, I can think in my whole career of like 3 dudes that I played with that were like pretty mad at them. Like there were some guys that went, you know, that had duck hunted, but as far as like dudes that there's a difference in duck hunting and a duck hunter.
Yeah.
I'd say there maybe 3, and that's stretching it. One of them, I don't know. 2 that are like mad at them.
Yeah. I've met a few and honestly,
Play with a lot of guys.
Still hunt with a few of them. But I played with a lot of guys from out west, like Utah, Colorado. So, and those guys like to elk hunt, turkey hunt, game. Deer hunt, antelope hunt. But as far as duck hunters, man, I like handful.
Yeah, wasn't many.
Going back to your minor league career, I know you got to play in the big leagues. You debuted what?
16.
In 16?
Yeah, Baltimore.
With Baltimore. Take us through, like, you know, did you think you were going to get the call up? Did you kind of have that itch? Did you know? Or did you break spring training in big league camp? Or what it looked like?
I was in big league spring training in 16, but I knew they liked me a lot that year. I had played in the Arizona Fall League, I think, in 14. I'm trying to take it all the way back, but I had labrum surgery in like 12. It took me like 2 years to get all the way back from that. Maybe 15, first full year back. I don't know. Whatever my first full year after pitching like kind of a halfway injured rehab year, I came out like strong in spring training, was throwing really, really hard. And I had a good year. I had a really, really good year. I spent the whole year in AA and was pretty dominant. I want to say like a low 2 ERA. Career-wise and stuff-wise was probably my best year, and I want to say that was 15. A really, really good year in 15. Good year in 14 coming out of surgery. That first full healthy year in 15 was really, really strong. Probably career stuff-wise, I think that was my best year. And so I knew I got invited to big league spring training going to 16. I knew they liked me a lot, but I also knew we already had a lefty that had a bullpen spot that was tied up, a multi-year signed guy. And I knew that there was no way that I was going to get up with the money that he was making unless I didn't think my performance would get me up. It would have to be his lack of performance or an injury, which is unfortunate with baseball, but that's just the way things go if you're going to move up. And we, early season, right out of the gate, kind of had a typical log jam. Well, I get sent back to AA. I was pretty bummed out about it because I had been in AA and really dominated for 2 years. And I was like, why am I not going to AAA? And kind of a log jam in AAA. And they're like, look, man, it's not a big deal. Like, you can move up from AA just as quick as you can from AAA to the big leagues. You just go and focus on you and worry about you. Well, we ended the year. Spring training ended. You know how sometimes they'll do like the big league exhibition games, you know, but they'll bring like minor league guys, but you'll be in a big league park, whatever. Well, there was an exhibition game at Citizens Bank Park against the Phillies, and I pitched the 9th inning of that game. And I don't know if I started the inning or came in for somebody, but anyway, I had guys on second and third with 1 out and a 1-run lead. And I want to say I punched a dude out and got like a fly out to end the game or something, but my stuff was good. And I remember whenever I got off the bus that night, the pitching coach was like, hey, we'll be seeing you. Like, I knew they liked me. I knew they liked me a lot. I didn't know how I was going to get up based on the situation, but I knew they liked me because at that time that bullpen was – see, that was a really good Orioles team. That was the ones that were like winning the American League East. Yeah. They'd fallen off really bad up until this year. They got good again, but that was the last year that they had that really, really good team. And Darren O'Day and Brad Brock and Michael Givens, they were stacked in the bullpen. Brian Mattis, that was the other left-handed pitcher. Well, we get to early in the season, and I'm throwing the ball really, really well in Double-A, and Mattis is not. He's not throwing good. I mean, he's not getting outs. He's not getting lefties out. That's what they really had him for, and he was not getting lefties out. And I'm on the road, and freaking the stadium was getting built for the Hartford, Connecticut team, so we were playing at a short season New York Penn League stadium. There was the old Connecticut Tigers, a team that I don't think they even existed anymore. And we were playing at their stadium against the Hartford team while they were getting their new stadium built. And I remember we went into extra innings that night, and I had like a solid 2 days off, and we're go like 13 innings. And they kept, like the ninth would get there. And I just knew, I'm like stretching because I knew like we had already used our, like when you know how much rest the people have and you know what situations you've been thrown in. As a bullpen guy, you know like a lot of times before that phone even rings. And when it does ring, a lot of times you know like whose name's getting called on the end of the line. And I just knew like 3 different times they were going to call my name. And like dudes were getting up and going in the game that were pitching on like back-to-back. I'm like, what the hell? This is weird. I didn't really think that much of it. I didn't know why. I thought they maybe just give me an extra day of rest. I didn't know. I didn't complain about my arm. But anyway, we end up losing in 13. We get walked off. Back-to-back nights, actually, we lost in 13 innings, 2 nights in a row. And that was why it was even more strange because I didn't throw the first night, which that would have been back-to-back for me or 1 day's rest. But the second night was weird. Well, anyway, we go in the locker room, and our manager comes in. And I've played with this guy a bunch of different stops. I played with him my first stop in pro ball, which was short season A. I played with him in Double-A for like 3 years. And he comes in and he's like, hey guys, like sometimes in this game, like bad things happen. The ball doesn't go the way you want it to go, whatever. But also in this game, there's some really, really cool stuff that happens. He's like, but guys, you thought it was just one of those typical, like, keep your head up. We got beat in 13, 2 nights in a row, and everybody's just kind of like, and he's like, but when bad stuff happens, sometimes there's some really cool stuff happens too. And he's like, hey, Ashur. And I'm like, I'm just a relief pitcher. You know, I don't expect anybody to talk to. He's like, Ashur. I was like, what's up? And he's like, pack your shit, man. He's like, the big league squad's in Houston. You're going to be meeting them tomorrow. And everybody, like jumps up and they go crazy because I've played with a lot of these guys. And it was totally unexpected. And that was straight from Double-A, and it was just like out of nowhere. And it was kind of early in the year. It was like mid-May. Brian Mattis wasn't throwing good, and so flew down to Houston and made my big league debut a few years later, which not few days later, and that's probably what ultimately led to me being with Houston the next years because I had a really, really good couple outings against Houston. I was throwing really, really good, and they must have liked me. So then whenever I got put on waivers by Baltimore, that's, I guess, whenever they claim me. But, no, that whole process, that was like one of the coolest memories, baseball-wise. Like, anytime a guy gets called up, it's pretty cool. But the way it happened, like, it was pretty cool. I'll never remember. He did an awesome job. I mean, props to the manager for that because he did it in a way that I'll remember it forever. It was really, really cool.
That's really cool. Did you win a World Series, or were you part of a team?
I got a World Series ring with Houston.
That's unbelievable. Give us a little rundown on that. Did you get traded?
Yeah, so I was with Baltimore and got put on waivers. Went over to the Los Angeles Angels during the offseason. Didn't even pitch with them. And they signed somebody. They needed to clear a roster spot, get put on waivers with them, and then Houston claimed me. So went to big league spring training with Houston, and then went to Fresno, which is AAA, and got kind of rode that shuttle, that AAA big league shuttle with Houston and Fresno. Never really could, just didn't pitch bad. I mean, shoot, I went up one night and threw my career high in the big leagues, threw 4 innings. Starter shit his pants in the second, and, I'm out there just eating innings, just dumb AAA guy, wear his arm out, we'll send him back. But, so I threw well, but I was like a 4A guy, man. Like I was plenty good enough for AAA and just not quite good enough to just stay in the big leagues. If I had a good, like, 12-6 breaking ball or a good breaking ball with some depth, I could have been. You know, I had the fastball velocity for sure, and I had a good splitter. But left on left, they really, really wanted me to have more depth on my breaking ball. And that was just something that it was never a strength of mine. Like good left on left depth was not, I don't know, my splits were decently even over my career. Lefties didn't have good slugging off of me. I think I gave up one homer in my whole 10-year career in pro ball against a left-handed hitter, and it was David Ortiz in the big leagues.
He's pretty good, I think.
That was the only only lefty I gave up a homer to. So the slugging wasn't that good against lefties, but my splits, lefty-righty, like if I really at that time, you know, now they don't do as much of the lefty-lefty stuff, but at the time, that's really what they wanted me for. I think they wouldn't have cared if righties were hitting 450, but they wanted the lefties to be hitting like 076. Right. And mine was more like 225, 235. You know, like they were like right there. I didn't give up extra base hits to them, but I didn't like dominate them, you know, the way that I think that they wanted to. And really just the curveball with depth, a lot of depth. My breaking ball did not have much depth to it. I threw a splitter that had some depth, but it wasn't it just wasn't a true like left on left pitch for me. So, you know, it was great. Baseball was good to me, man. I enjoyed the phase I'm in now with my kids. I do coach pitch, so I'm the pitcher of the Divebomb Bears. You know, I'm our pitcher for the Divebomb Bears. So, but baseball was good to me. I have no complaints about any organization that I ever played for or opportunity. I can never say that I wasn't given opportunity. They stuck with me through injuries and poor performance. The good, bad, I mean, I had opportunity, and that's all you can ask for at the end of the day. So very thankful for my baseball career. I'm very thankful for where I am now. You know, it's been quite a journey, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. You know what? That's a lie. Who sits there and says that? If I could have played 15 years in the big leagues and retired, I would have done that. Okay? I'm not going to start all that, but I'm thankful for where I'm at. You know, I've enjoyed the ride. I would have liked to have made like $100 million and, you know, have my own club or whatever, you know? Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Like, I'm good. I'm happy. That's all that matters, right? I'm happy. I'm happy with where I'm at. My kids are healthy. My family's healthy. I'm healthy. Hopefully it stays that way for a long time. I got good friends and good family and a great support system. So all that's happened. You know, everybody's been there for me through my baseball career, through the ups and downs, and now through what I'm doing now. So, you know what? I have no complaints. Yeah. I'm not going to say I wouldn't change it. That's a lie. But I have no complaints, okay? So
a few adjustments.
We'll say that. That's right. Yeah, I wish I could have, start there. I wish I would have been 6'4", 240 and just throw 100, you know, and not even have to worry about the breaking ball. Just give him the heater, Ricky, you know, like.
Straight diesel, son.
Yeah, said 6 foot 180 doesn't quite. That ain't it.
No. Not usually anyway.
But yeah, man.
Any more baseball questions?
No? You going to pitch this year in men's league or what?
Man, probably not. I'm going to – man, I had so many – I was like made of glass during my baseball career. You guys should see my –
You played like 10 years. I played like half of that and probably had double the surgeries. So
man, you guys should see my – I wish there was a way I could pull up my injury history year to year, and you guys would be like, wow, like that's impressive, like genuinely impressive. I mean, like broken finger, like wrist – can't tell you how many shoulder tendonitis, you know, DL, left hamstring, right hamstring, left hamstring again, PRP injection, come back from that, left hamstring again, you know, labrum, right knee. It's just one thing right after another, literally made of glass. So that's what worries me is that, you know, I've got 2 young boys, and my dad was able to play, really he caught me almost damn near until I retired and could play catch with me. Not full long toss, but he could throw with me a pretty long ways. My dad's was born in 1960, was that make him 63 years old. And, you know, so he probably up until 50, at least mid-50s, every bit of mid-50s, but maybe 56 or 7. He'd throw with me and could get down. And I think about that if my kids are into baseball. and I would love to be able to like throw with them a long ways someday, like when they get in high school and college and want to stretch it out. And I like the idea of thinking that I'd be able to do that, and like throw with them and be healthy. And I know if I hurt myself at this point in my life, I'm so busy and I've got so much going on, I'd never have the surgery to fix it, and two, I wouldn't go through the rehab to get myself fixed again. So that's my biggest fear, is that if I try to overdo it, that I hurt myself, and then I'm like that, like that pathetic, sorry, I probably shouldn't say the F word on here, but
Hey,
pathetic, like trying to throw with my kid, and I'm like having to take my glove off and throw. I don't know, maybe it's an irrational fear, but it's the one that I do think about. I just want to be healthy for them.
You hear that, Josh? You taking some notes? You can say no.
But he's probably not made of glass the way I am. I mean, he played shortstop and ran around. I mean, I was always hurt. I was even always getting hurt in high school. So I'm just very prone to injury. Like some people aren't. Like some people are prone to getting sick. Like some people never get colds. They never go to the doctor. And some people are at the doctor all the time. And I mean, you're the kind of guy, like, you recover fast and you can go out there and play shortstop. Like if I did that stuff, like literally my arm would fall off.
Well, I was gonna say, like,
I could not do it.
There's a limit though. Like I know, like you go out there and you start getting hurt and tweaking stuff. It's like you got to shut it down.
Right.
But like going out and doing what we're doing, and I mean, yeah, my arm hurts after I pitch, but it's like if I was out there actually like hurting myself physically, I'm like, it wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah.
To go out there and win an MSBL championship. So.
Yeah.
Did you had some sort of shoulder surgery, didn't you?
I had labrum.
Yeah.
So whenever I graduated college, I had what?
There you go.
Too close? Too far away?
Yeah.
I had Tommy John immediately after I graduated, and then as soon as I got done recovering from Tommy John, I had labrum. So like back to back after college. So I didn't even have like baseball to look forward to at that point, and like I was wanting to go play pro ball after the surgery. And then after the first one, you get done, then COVID hit, and it's just like the last thing you can think of is, throwing a baseball. But
dude, that's a brutal.
They're gonna be an ambulance out there for me after I pitch this year. We're gonna get Josh. Josh's gonna start the game. I'm gonna come in to close. I'm gonna peg 5 people, and then K up 3, and then someone's gonna need.
And then Rucker's gonna come in and close for us.
Yeah, I have not made one stop at that baseball field.
You were a hitter, weren't you?
Yeah, I played outfield. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I did that. They've asked me for
We could have a hell of a team
for years to come out there. And
it's pretty fun. I'm a sorry ass center fielder. We really need somebody else that knows what they're doing out there. That's not a pitcher.
Just need a left and a right fielder.
Just need someone who can see.
100%. We got
Geary that can't see.
That's our uncle. Like Asher said, our average age was like in the mid 50s, 60s, and we were the only team to play on Sundays at 1 o'clock because we couldn't play night games because our older guys couldn't see at night. So most guys are out at the lake. He's got kids he's coaching. It's like Sundays at 1 o'clock.
I'm on the golf course then. I ain't
Yeah.
going to baseball.
Sundays at one
rushing
terrible
back.
time, and we're having to play ball games at 1 o'clock on a Sunday
Yeah,
because our
that's-
old guys can't see.
They're gonna have to fix that.
Well, I'm just not going. That's what I've come to. I didn't make a single noon game or 1 o'clock game this year.
Yeah, dude.
It's a
it'd
terrible
be like,
time to play baseball.
I'd be in the trenches, man. These guys would both be gone, and I'd be the only young guy. I'm 35, but the only youngish guy there. And it'd be about 107 degrees, and Josh would be like, "Well, how'd it go today?" I'm like, "Well, lost 13-1. Got shut out by a guy throwing 76 with a spinning breaking ball."
That shit, they take it so serious, and it's so funny. Like, obviously, when you're out there, you're like competing and stuff, but man,
Once it's
men's
over,
league
you're just
baseball,
like,
it's
you don't care anymore. Yeah.
You run into some characters. It's fun.
I'll text Ash. Like sometimes I won't text you to tell you that I'm not coming because I know that you may not come, and we'd for sure be screwed. Like those games that I just show up or those games I don't show up to, and I'll just text you after the game, hoping that you respond saying that you were there. And dude, it's freaking miserable.
Oh man, it is miserable, but at times it can be pretty.
It's so
fun,
much
too.
fun.
I enjoy it while
When
I'm
you
out
got
there.
some dude throwing 60 up there
Yeah,
to you.
when
We're
you can just
doinking them off the
really,
wall.
when you can just really come unleashed. It's fun when you're like playing people that aren't like. I'm not saying you don't want to go out there and compete, but like it doesn't mean anything to them. They're just out there having fun. Because you play some people that like genuinely, they're like trying to live their past life through it. And it's kind of like, man, do less, like this ain't it. That can kind of be annoying, especially when you get like somebody gets a big out and you get a little like fist bump and chest bumping and some like hops and skips. I'm like, dude, like really? You just punched out this guy that got off his job of accounting like an hour ago. He's been crunching numbers for 40 hours this week. Of course he couldn't hit your breaking ball.
Fred left his walker in the on-deck circle.
You're 30 years younger than him. Like, what do you think was going to happen?
There's nothing funnier than we have Bruce or somebody that goes up there and tries to hit a dude throwing 90 miles per hour. The only thing you're praying for is that he doesn't die up
Please
there.
don't get hit and break your hip, like.
God,
It's a legitimate concern.
Really it is. And then the heat, you catch a Sunday game out in Arkansas on a Sunday in
107.
July. The heat index is 115.
Yeah, that's you can find me on the. I'm with you. I'll be on the lake on Sundays at 1 o'clock.
Pontoon. But
Take it back to some duck hunting real quick. Over the last couple of years, I know you've been on some absolute banger hunts. What's a hunt that sticks out to you the most? I mean, shooting widgeon, going to the Pacific Northwest, shooting divers out of a boat blind. I mean, what hunt just kind of sticks out in your head that you're like, dang, that was not necessarily once in a lifetime, but like that was just an incredible experience?
man,
Or if there's more than one, go ahead. We'd love to hear about it.
my favorite hunts these last few years have been just like, honestly, like, sounds, but you, don't put that on there. So I'm going to lose my job. Just cut that.
Sounds but a bunch of
Okay.
dudes.
My favorite hunts, honestly, the last couple years, my favorite hunts last year were the hunts that I had probably out here.
Yeah.
Because I just was not working.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I made a video, but it wasn't like I commuted from my house that day. So I had nothing to lose. We killed them. That was fine. If we got them and we made a video, that was cool too. But I didn't lose anything. When we're on the road and your objective, there's a reason you're there. Like, you are there at that place to get some sort of content, whatever we've got outlined in our notes. But when it's here or anywhere around home, which when I was home last year, when I hunted, I pretty much hunted with you guys. And so, like, yeah, I can put a video together, but I don't really feel like I'm working.
Yeah.
I love what I do. I really do. I love going on the road. But my favorite hunts last year easily were the hunts when I was
When
at
there's no
home.
pressure.
Yeah, I was hunting here, and it's just like having fun. Whether we killed 18 or we, shot them in the woods that day or made a video. Those were my favorite hunts last year. But as far as just like memorable on the road, anytime that we hunt the little small creeks, like the little small creek in Wyoming, wasn't as good this year because it wasn't as cold. Normally what'll happen is they'll bring those cattle into feedlots. They'll put in feed lines. Well, what these birds will do is they'll come off of the roost and they'll go feed in these feedlots, and you'll catch them on these little tiny warm water creeks on their way back to the roost. Well, shoot, the cattle were still out in the hills. They hadn't even been brought in for the winter
still
yet.
grazing.
But yeah, it was so warm. So they weren't even putting feed out yet. So obviously, if they're not putting feed out for the cows, none of the water's frozen anywhere. So what good does it do you hunting warm water slough if everything's open?
Yeah.
That's what makes it attractive, is when it's snow and ice lining the banks and there's steam and stuff coming off of it, and it's the only open water in town. So we did not get that this year. We had a good hunt there this year, one good hunt, and it was a grind. We got them okay, but when it's worked out in the past, when you go and you hit it right, that's pretty dang hard to
How many
beat.
decoys y'all running in that
Couple
creek?
dozen.
And are y'all hunting A-frames or
We put an A-frame on the edge, about 8 yards off the edge
is the
of it.
grass pretty tall up around the sides? And
Yeah, and we'll gather up a bunch of tumbleweeds, just make our own little bush blind there. So you got your base layer on the A-frame, and then we'll get a bunch of tumbleweeds, pack them around it and stuff, and we'll put a couple dozen in the ditch. And I mean, you're talking about, I could wear these short boots and walk across it. It's
crazy.
gravel bottom. I could wear these short boots, and it's about, this wide.
And they just do it stupid in there.
Oh, man, it's crazy. And he hunts it. He only hunts his customers on weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and would never shoot at anything more than about 8. if there's a bunch in the air and like a couple come in, like we don't shoot.
And y'all just typically try to go green only.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the luxury you get when you're shooting them that close.
Right. And
you can pick 'em
it's
off.
gentlemen's hunts. You're shooting sub gauges. So everybody's shooting small. He doesn't even allow 12 gauges. It's they really prefer 410s and 28 gauges.
Really?
I shoot a 20, which is
And
sometimes
what's the
too
reason
much.
for that? Just shooting them close, or
A few different reasons, but one, well, there's about 4 reasons I can think of, different reasons for either the business or hunting aspect of it. But for the business, for the outfitter, it's kind of a novelty thing. It's like a gentleman's thing. Shoot a 410, 28 gauge. It's just like some of these old historic timber holes at 410 hole. It's just kind of got a little novelty to it. It's different. Kind of a flex, I guess, to say you can't even bring 12 gauges.
Yeah.
So that would probably be the first thing. The second thing is they're hunting a lot of the same ducks, and a lot of these ducks are trafficking. That's why we don't shoot into big groups. But also, when you're using smaller guns aren't near as loud. And so, one, if you are shooting and you are a little bit closer to where they're roosting or where they're feeding, or if they're transitioning other birds, there's a good chance you're not disturbing them as bad. Or if they're sitting on different parts of the creek, they just stay settled.
And if there's 1 or 2 guys shooting at a time.
Doesn't bother them. So you're not getting any of these doom volleys. It's like clean. Like when we go there, so that'd be the second reason. Third reason, you're shooting them so close, you'll tear them up.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes 20 is too much. But these hunts aren't like they come in, it's like kill them. These hunts are come in, it's like, hey, Nate, you kill this greenhead. Or, hey, this pair, Ruck, you and Nate crunch this pair.
Yeah.
Shoot your lane. That's how it is. It's not like kill them. It's like, oh, okay, you just shot that one. It's like, all right, who's next? Okay, if a single comes in, this one would be yours, Nate, no matter where it's at.
How many will y'all take in there? I know y'all are talking about small groups shooting 1 at a time.
4 max.
So 4 guys max.
Yeah.
So it's
20
typically
mallards.
you, a guy, one of y'all's interns, or one of y'all's.
Yeah, we'll
video
give them the
guys.
gun if it's going to be good. Like if I know we're going to get them, then I'll grab the camera and we'll rotate out. If I'm like, if I'm not sure, we'll keep him on the camera. But I mean, 20 mallards, 5 mallards a person. For 4 guys, or if it's 3 guys, we'll go, 15. But yeah, you're really never shooting more than 20.
It's crazy.
But it's a unique hunt. It's a special hunt. It's the high volume hunts. They're cool, but I'm good if I never shoot another 100 stack in my life. Honestly, that doesn't really. I don't like hunting with that many people. I really don't. The whole West Texas Stillwall thing with 15 guns out there. I mean, I know you're getting groups of a couple hundred come in. I mean, it's cool to rain out 50 in a group. I mean, it is cool once, I guess. I mean, a lot of people like it, but for me personally, man, it don't get no better than like 4, 5, 6 dudes. That's enough people where you can kill plenty of birds if you got birds. So it's not so few where you're like, dang, it's done too fast. But it's not so many where it's just chaotic it's just chaos.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect number for me. Anywhere from like 4 to 7.
Yeah. I agree.
4 some days is even a little small. If it's really, really good, you really want that like 7. But if it's like fringe good, you can put together a hell of a hunt with not that many birds with like 3 dudes.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? But when you got 15 guys, what happens? You got to have a bunch of birds
it's hard
show
to manage
up,
that,
to put
especially
together a good hunt.
as an outfitter.
And then you blow them out of there anyway.
Guys swing in. As an outfitter too, they bring in these big groups. A lot of these guys hunt a couple times a year, maybe a couple times every 3 or 4 years. And it's like you got guys shooting over here, and there's 15 of them doing the same thing. I mean, you're talking 60, 70 shots raining off per volley. I mean, it's just chaos. Hard to manage.
Educating a lot of birds, and you got to kill a lot of birds. Because, see, a lot of people with these outfitters, in their mind, what makes a successful hunt for a client is a freaking limit. Well, dang. I mean, you hunt with 12, 14, 16 guys, and you kill 60 birds. I've been on a lot of 50-bird hunts that felt like failures, which if you'd have done that with fewer guys, that'd have been an absolute banger, full-blown banger if you'd have done that with 8. But when you do it with 22, everybody's like, 50, we should have killed 100 stack. So then it makes your job more difficult. You gotta have more birds finish. The guys gotta shoot good when they do finish. You can't shoot them for them if you're a guy. I think these guide services and outfit. Like Habitat Flats, I think they do it right. Like they'll let a guy come in if he wants to hunt as a single. They'll let him hunt as a single, but they won't do more than like 6. And if they do more than 6, they'll do a second shift, like in a blind. Like Love Lake, where Tony always hunts, sometimes they'll do a second shift at Love. So
just
they'll hunt
get their
6.
first guys or limit.
Next guys will be in the Ranger. They'll send a text while they're at breakfast. Hey, we need 3 more. Get ready, head down to Love. But they'll if they need to hunt 2 guys, how fast you can get in and out of some of those spots that they hunt with 2 guys.
Yeah.
But if they try to go in there with 10 and burn them to the ground, that spot might not be good for another 10 days.
Yeah.
Dude, you go in there with 2 guys, especially if you're 2 guys that can shoot, and you're not burning through all your birds, but you got 2 guys, they're killing 2, 3, 4 at a time. 3 groups, you're done. Take them to the house. It's 8 o'clock. The birds got it the rest of the day. You can kill them again the next day.
Give them the woods.
But a lot of these guys,
Let them have it.
But a lot of these guys, man, they hunt such big groups, so the expectation, and I get it. I totally get it. It's a business, so naturally, you got more guys in the field. What's that mean?
More money.
So, I understand, but I think the best ones find a way to balance the birds and the money. Because what happens if you get this huge group, but it's not good? Well, they ain't going to come back and spend their money with you again. So if you can get a good enough sized group to make your money, but also satisfy your clients, well, they're going to rebook with you, and you're going to keep making money year over year. So I think it's important that people that are long-term oriented, they look at the more big picture and say, hey, let's make sure customers I think it says something about an outfit when you go and they've got these insane rebook rates. Yeah. When you look at these places that are rebooked, like people hunt and they turn around and they're ready to give their deposit again, I think that says a lot about it.
I think the main thing when it comes to outfitters, and I haven't even gone to a bunch, but like I feel like a lot of people, it's just the experience. Yeah. They want to feel like they're out there, they're hanging out, eating a nice dinner and having a good time. And sometimes it's not even about just how many birds you killing, but like a real hunter like yourself, is that what you look for whenever you kind of like go to these places? Is it like, man, are they doing it right and like hosting us well, or is the bird hunting good? Because I feel like I know a lot of places that guide, but they're mainly selling the experience, and the bird hunting's whatever. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
Well, real quick for you, there is a lot of outfitters too that don't have the luxury of a lodge or to
100%.
serve food.
Yeah,
and those guys rely 100% on limits.
Yeah,
and not
they just do day hunts.
Hunts. And honestly, as far as probably bang for your buck, that may be the way to go. Just for, obviously the lodging and stuff is great, but these guys are in and out.
I think it depends on what you're. I think different outfitters have different clientele. Yeah. They got different expectations. And I think you set that through the vibe that you put off in your marketing. I think some people put off a vibe that, hey, this is a vacation. This is an escape from your everyday. Birds are like a bonus. We're going to go to the field and we're going to kill some birds, but you're going to stay at a really nice lodge. It's going to be clean. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to have nice aesthetics. The food's going to be really good. We're going to have sporting clays in the back. We're going to have good, beer, cold beer, all the drinks you want. Yeah, might have a fire going, might have somebody playing acoustic guitar. I don't know. But what do you want to get out of it? I think some people want to just go experience that, the lodge life, and then the hunt is just, it goes how it goes. Other people, I think the marketing is like, hey, we're like run and gun, chasing feeds. We're putting up fat stacks, And I think you attract that type of client. I think when you're marketing that way, your expectation from your client is going to be they want piles. So they want to kill a lot of birds because that's what you're marketing. That's why they book for you, especially booked with you, especially if you're doing day hunts and you're marketing that way. Well, they probably ain't paying for a day hunt for the camaraderie. Yeah. But if you're going to, we'll say Falco, for example.
Yeah.
Beautiful lodge, great food, their expectation there. Not saying Falco doesn't kill birds, because they do, but I think they probably have a different type of client and a different client expectation just through the way they present themselves. And it can be even the way your website looks, what your captions are on your photos. You know, if you got a caption that's talking about limits and piles by certain times and all this and that, or you got captions that are showing more like lifestyle type of stuff. I mean, you kind of read between the lines and say, what are people looking for out of these different types of outfits? So I think it just all goes back to how you market yourself and present yourself. I'm not saying one or the other's wrong or better. I think some people have the means and the ability to have the lodge and the land, and some people run day hunts and chase feeds, and I think that's great for anybody that's on either side of the spectrum. But I think people need to be aware of how they're presenting it to their target audience.
Yeah. Now, when y'all travel, do y'all go to outfitters that y'all essentially sponsor or provide decoys to, or do y'all get invited by certain ones to expose their service so that way they get more eyeballs on what they're doing, potentially bringing more customers off of your platform?
Right. Most people these days, they're people that we've worked with for maybe a number of years that we've met, that's been running our stuff, and they loyally run our stuff day in and day out. And we don't change up the schedule too terribly much. I mean, every year we'll have a few different visits, but a lot of times if we go somewhere and we have a good experience, and by good experience, I don't just mean hunting being good, but I mean you feel welcome. They like the cameras. They're good on camera. They don't feel like the camera's an inconvenience. They do whatever they need to do to make sure you've got what you need.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you're a burden. You're messing anything up for them. They communicate well, and the vibes are good. They act like they want you to be there, and then good hunting. I mean, I'd be lying if I said that. I will give people passes. It's a wild animal. We have bad hunts when we're freelancing on our own, so I don't expect anybody to be perfect. But if we go somewhere and if you had a bad hunt whenever it was due to birds being wild animals, and when it was due to potentially lack of effort or attention to detail. Yeah. So if we have a poor hunt, we could go somewhere for 3 days, and if it's bad for 3 days, I can tell if it's the real deal, if it's legit. It doesn't have to be. I've hunted long enough. I know how wild animals can be. You can get boned by bad weather. You can get boned by your feed getting bumped and going a different direction, or them changing their plans. Weather, a huge front comes in, and they start going from, sitting on water all day and feeding once a day in the evenings after shooting light. Happens all the time. So you can tell whenever it's the effort and attention that you're getting there, and usually that translates. If you didn't get them that 1 year, usually when you go back, you're somewhere, it's a real deal, and it was just a fluke, and you get them the next time. And there's also been places that I've gone that I've felt like I wasn't crazy about the effort that we were given.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I leave, and I would say nobody ever know who I'm even talking about right now. Whether it's one or multiple, but there's places we've gone, I've felt like we didn't get a great effort, and they wouldn't even know that we felt that way. But we never went back.
I don't know if you were with me or not, but we hunted a couple of times with this one guy. I'm not mentioning the service, but he would hunt the same snow goose spread for a month in a row, every day, the same one. No matter where, it wasn't a traffic spot either. It wasn't hunting over water. He was just hunting the same field every single day because he didn't want to put his decoys out every morning.
Yeah,
But it's like, then we've also hunted with guys that are like, even Kevin in Canada, like that dude's scouting a week before we go.
Yeah.
You got
he leaves during the afternoon hunts to go scout.
He will miss.
If you have a
trigger
bad hunt,
time.
it's not due to lack of effort.
He'll miss trigger time to go scout. Yeah. And there's guys that only scout.
Oh yeah.
There's guys that while you're hunting, they're out finding feeds, and they'll travel 2-3 hour radius to go find birds. Yeah. And that's when you can tell the effort is being put in.
The places we go now, I know, with the exception of a few wild cards, I'll put in the schedule every year because we got to mix it up some. We can't just go to the same place over and over. We got to go to a new. Every once in a while, you got to. there's a lot of smoke and mirrors on the internet. Sometimes you're just going to get fooled, either through somebody's website, through somebody's Instagram page. Not saying this happens often, but we have to take some risk. We can't just go to the same place over and over again. One, we don't want to continue to do that because I want to explore new places and we want to
it's for the
get
growth
new content.
of your platform,
but two, we want our viewers to see it. But the places that we are going to year after year, when people keep seeing the same places, they should know. That should be a pretty good hint to people that these people are prepared.
Yeah.
And they're not only are they prepared, but they're good communicators. They're probably good people, have good reputations. Because we can't run around with anybody that don't have those things. If you got a bad reputation or you're an outlaw or you've done questionable things, we can't associate with that because that's bad for our business. So that should give people a pretty good hint. When they look and see the same places we're going and you're seeing familiar faces, it kind of goes without saying, like they're probably doing something right.
Yep.
And maybe we strategically know when historical, you can never hit anything perfect with Mother Nature, but we kind of got a decent idea, like historically, when we need to go after this species. Like you guys know here at CB, like you might miss it one year, but you know historically, if you guys got a buddy that's coming up, Florida or whatever, and you talk to him and you say, hey, 3 months in advance, I like this window. Yeah. Now, does that mean that you guys weren't prepared or, you didn't do what you needed to do, have your water, whatever, when those guys came and it's a bad hunt? No, it's just it didn't work out. It was a front, birds pushed out or whatever. It wasn't doing anything you could control, but there's a good chance if they came next year and the next year on the same window, you'd probably get them. So, we kind of build in. We factor in that's part of our conversations we have when we talk to these people. If we don't already know it already, we'll talk to these people in certain areas. Like if I'm going to kill black duck somewhere in some province in Canada I've never been to, hey man, what's historical prime time? What do you like? Look back at your camera roll the last 5 years and where's the consistency?
There's a lot of money being put in by your company.
Oh gosh, you had to fly people out. I mean,
it's all. I mean, yeah, you still got to hunt, put in the effort, but like, if you want to narrow that window down to where you're not going to essentially waste money, you're not going to waste money because the experience is always whatever. But you get up
from
there,
a business standpoint, you're kind of wasting money if you don't get anything.
For y'all vlogging for your channel, it's like, I'll just tell you from a video standpoint, if you go out and hunt, you can have the best sunrise in the world and have all the jokes and stuff in the blind. But if you don't kill birds or have nothing to show for, then you really don't have a video.
No, doesn't do nothing for you.
Yeah.
Camaraderie doesn't sell decoys.
100%. No.
Dead bird sells decoys.
Now, when y'all go up there and hunt with outfitters, do you typically mix in with paid clients, or do they take y'all by yourself?
About half and half.
Do you ever have paid clients pissed because you're trying to set up a camera somewhere, or do they know dive bomb and they're like, man, it's cool to be on your video?
Yeah. Most people are pretty hype about us being there, and two, most people they tell the clients in advance. Like back even when they book it, like we might have the dates first, or if a client already has a date and it's a date that I want, they'll call them and make sure, like, hey, and then when you add to that, our guys they got feel, right. They got good feel, like they don't, they know that we don't interrupt hunts, like we don't, if birds are coming hot off the roost, we're not out in the decoys getting, just because we like the light at that point, we'll have to wake up early the next day and get that. We'll stage it. Like if there are paying clients, now there's days when it's just us. If there's something I really, really need, like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, some sort of sale, and it's just us, and I don't give a shit about a limit, but only thing I care about is certain content for a certain sale. Right. Oh yeah, I'll burn through birds for sure if it's just us. Like if we're just freelance, because we're not that day is not built for a vlog. Right. That day was built for content. But when we're on the road, if there's paying customers there, yeah, our guys got good feel. We'll never mess up a hunt, due to the cameras or our agenda. Yeah. So yeah, but most people know. Yeah.
I've got, unless they have some more questions, I've kind of got like one more deal I want to touch on. Early season honkers. Y'all go. You don't have to tell your location or who you go with, but y'all seem to always go to this one spot where y'all just rake in the bands. And I don't know what state that's in. I don't care if you care to say it, but talk a little bit about y'all's hunts in the previous years and how many bands y'all shot.
So I met this guy at Game Fair a few years ago, and he was telling me, everybody likes bands. Let's be honest. If anybody says otherwise, they're full of it. Bands are cool, whether they were banded, 3 miles away or they're 30 years old. Like, obviously 30 years old would be much cooler, but everybody likes bands. And I'd met this guy at Game Fair, and he was telling me they kill a lot of bands early season, and I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds kind of cool. And we go with him the first year, and it's a target rich area. They band quite a few birds in that county. They got like 2 different spots that they band them in that county. Now, I mean, that doesn't mean that you can get access to all the fields that they're on. But these guys, they wouldn't hunt any differently whether they were banded or not banded. They're still hunting the best feeds they got. The only difference is their best feeds have bands in them, where some people's best feeds don't. Like opening day, we shot 27 bands. But the field, we knew it was a pretty big feed. It was like 300. And everybody's like, oh, y'all are targeting bands. Y'all are targeting bands. And we're like, no, I knew Travis kills bands, and that's why we had initially started hunting with him, because I knew there was a good chance we could go and shoot some bands. But we were still hunting we were just hunting the best feed they had for opening day, just like any normal waterfowl hunter would do, is they just hunt the best feed. Well, that feed happened to have, we knew it had a couple family groups in it that were all banded together. And we knew that if we looked for them, we have binoculars and stuff in the blind, so we're looking at them as they're coming in. And we knew if anybody could see one band with 20 coming in or 30,
There's a good chance they're all
the whole thing's banded. So the first group of the day comes off, and we lay into them because we got like 10 dudes, 12 dudes. So we were just going to bang them up, First group comes in, and we lay into them, light them up. Nothing's banded. Well, the next group comes in, and they wide light on us, and there's like 8, and put the binoculars up. All 8 of them are banded. We're like, dang, And then it wasn't 15 minutes later, big like 20 packs coming, and like guys got the binoculars up, getting closer and closer and closer. Guys like, see a band. And they're like, all right, let's kill them all. And they come in, and we shoot like 16 of them. Well, they're all banded. The whole thing, the whole group was banded. It makes you mad that, didn't even kill more than that, because you're like, every one of them, every time I pulled the trigger, if I'd have killed one, it would have been banded. Well, the whole group was banded, and shot into another non-banded group, and then we had another like 10 or 11 come in. Same type of deal. They put their feet out. Somebody goes, band, kill them. Wipe them out. Shot like 10. They were all banded.
That's crazy.
So we knew there was a couple. Yeah. We knew there was a couple big family groups, but it's not like the whole feed was banded. They didn't band them in that field. They did. It's not. It was just the best field in that county, and that county had a ton of birds banded in it. And that field had 2 massive family groups that were all banded together, and we got them both in.
That's crazy.
We got the whole group in. We killed 26, and it was awesome. A lot of people get mad. Oh, you're running their data. You're running their research. You're targeting bands. I said, well,
shouldn't have been flying there.
Well, I was gonna go hunt with him. The guy's he's a friend of mine. He's a good friend of mine. So I was gonna go hunt with him anyway. Well, I'm sorry that they banned a bunch of birds where he lives. If the bands come in, I'm gonna kill them. I'm not just gonna be like, they're banded. Don't shoot them. We don't want to mess their research up. They're banded. So they banned a lot in that county. And we just hunted the best feed like anybody else. But, the first trip I ever went up with him, I'm just going to be straight blatant with you. Early September honkers, there's really nothing exciting about them. Big, greasy honkers. It's 90 degrees.
They smell like hell.
It's hot.
They're stupid.
They're pretty dumb. They're boring. They're pretty boring, like once you start getting some wind, they start migrating and changing their patterns up, they can be pretty fun. Like we'll go hunt honkers in 0 degrees here in about 3 weeks, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Big groups, big wads of them, it's a blast. But early honkers are kind of boring. So I was just looking for something to make it more exciting. Well, then this guy tells me like, hey, we got a lot of bands here. I'm like, great, I hate hunting early honkers. This will at least make me like a little bit excited about them. Plus, it'll make for some pretty cool content. Yeah, a lot of people got really upset about that, but it's like, look, I'm friends with this guy. I'm going to go hunt with him. If bands get in the way, they're dying. You know, like, sorry, not sorry.
I don't know why you get mad at that, because those people would be doing the same damn thing.
Every one of them.
Every single person.
But, yeah, so that's it. That's the deal. We very target-rich area. And what's crazy is the guys are hunting areas like this all over the country. All these guys that you see with these mega ropes that are 20 years old, you think those are all migrators? I mean, there's a guy, one of these guys I know, he's been hunting like 4 years, and he pinched on like 17 last year. I mean, he's got an absolute chain, you know. So you can't now. If you see some old timer in the South here in Arkansas that's chained up, you're like, okay, that dude's killed a bunch of mallards
with a bunch of duck
They're
bands
duck
too.
bands.
Yeah.
When you see somebody, well, I say that with a disclaimer because, I mean, I was out in Eastern Washington, and there's a lot of dudes strapped out there, and they band a ton of mallards locally there, and those kids get strapped with mallard bands. I was talking to one of the guys that outfits there, and he had already shot 10 this year.
Oh my God.
Mallard bands.
That's crazy, because like around here, you shoot 1,000 birds a year. You're lucky to get one, maybe
band.
two.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, so I say that with a disclaimer. I say if you got a bunch of mallard bands, you're getting after it, but that's not really true, because I saw a couple 17-year-old kids that were halfway chained up. So it's really your proximity to where you're hunting to a banding site. But I will say, if you see a dude in the South with duck bands, because you can find places with honker bands too if you get lucky. You can find some places, yeah. If you're in the right places, you can get pretty strapped. But if you see a dude in the South with duck bands, like an old timer, he's killed a lot of shit because they're hard to come by. Yeah, he's a killer. I mean, old school. You know, if you're strapped up in the South with duck bands, you've seen some birds die.
Well, maybe we'll end our weekend tomorrow with some bands.
Yeah.
But
probably didn't.
We're gonna
honestly.
Nate's gonna wrap it up. He's got to get out of here and got to go corn some deer.
Gotta go feed my deer.
Got to feed his deer. But we're we
gotta
got
get off the leash here in about an hour and a half, and I'm walking in my foot. No, I'm kidding.
That's right. Well, we got a big hunt lineup
Got to let him
tomorrow.
out of the cage about 30
Yeah.
That's right.
Got a crew. Lancaster's going to meet us there. It's going to be a good time in the morning. It's supposed to get cold, north wind. Got a bunch of ducks at this spot. So we're going to wrap this up here. And appreciate Ashur coming on again.
Yeah, thanks,
we
guys.
enjoyed the hunt this morning. Hopefully we'll do it again tomorrow and a few more times before you have to get out of town.
That sounds good.
But, yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe to our channel, and be on the lookout for more content coming soon. Peace.